Every Donald Trump accusation is really just an admission of the truth about himself, and nowhere is that clearer than the lies Donald Trump pushes about elections, the fraud that he commits, the way that he is actively cheating right now to steal the midterms, but not just the midterms, the 2028 presidential election as well. If you don't think that Donald Trump wants to run for a third term, I don't know what to tell you, because he's making it as clear as possible. But someone just blew up that plan, and it is the man who helped Donald Trump get elected more than anyone else in this country, Elon Musk, who just dropped a bombshell on Trump that has him panicking. We're going to get into it all, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into this Elon election bombshell, I want to start with the man opposing Donald Trump, more than even Elon is right now. That's Gavin Newsom, who made the stakes of 2026 and 2028 incredibly clear.
Well, I think it's pretty sick and pathetic. And it just said everything you need to know, the setting that we're under. That they chose the time, manner, and place to send their district director outside right when we're about to have this press conference. Said everything you know about Donald Trump's America. And that was top down. You know that for a fact. They'll deny it, I'm sure. Maybe they won't deny it. Said everything you know about the authoritarian tendencies of the President of the United States. I said it a moment ago, wake up, America, wake up. You will not have a country if he rigs this election. You will have a president who will be running for a third term. Mark my word. I wasn't exaggerating when I said that I received in the mail a Trump 2028 hat from one of his biggest supporters. These guys are not screwing around. The rules do not apply to him. The most corrupt president in history. He doesn't believe in free enterprise, crony capitalism. He is wrecking this country, wrecking the economy. He's a lawless president. Wake up, America. Wake up to what's going on.
Donald Trump does not care about the law. That's obvious. Donald Trump already tried to steal an election in 2020. He's trying to steal the midterms and not just take away seats from Democratic districts in Texas. But it is important to point out, I feel like this hasn't been covered nearly enough or addressed when talking about what's happening in Texas. This is a racist effort as well. Donald Trump is trying to deprive the votes of black and brown people, and Donald Trump will certainly be sending in his mass thugs, his goons, to predominantly black areas in the midterms. You can just go ahead and bank on that right now. That's what's going to happen. This is not just an illegal act by Donald Trump. It's also racist and immoral, but that's what we have come to know. But Gavin Newsom is right. Donald Trump isn't joking when he talks about 2028. He's serious. Why else would we see this image consistently popping up on MAGA Twitter? Donald Trump was showing French President Emmanuel Macron and President Zelensky his merch within the White House, which is illegal, by the way, and of course you can see Trump 2028 hats. Donald Trump is selling those hats within the White House. Do we not think that he will take steps to not just steal the midterms, but the presidential election in 2028 from within the White House as well? Do you think he doesn't have lawyers working on this, scheming with Republicans? He needs the House. He needs the Senate to make sure he can do this. That's why he cares so much. And he also needs Elon. But he's been noticeably absent and noticeably quiet. Until lately, when J.D. Vance started talking about him, and that's really important context.
He's obviously got a complicated relationship right now with the Trump White House, though. My argument to Elon is, like, you're not going to be on the left, right? Even if you wanted to be, and he doesn't, they're not going to have you back. That ship has sailed. And so I really think it's a mistake for him to try to break from the president. So my hope is that by the time of the midterms, he's kind of come back into the fold. But yeah, I don't know that he would take my call right now about anything.
Really?
I'm sure he would. I kid. I'm sure he would take my call.
So why does J.D. Vance, the guy who's made it very clear that he doesn't care about Donald Trump and really only is focused on 2028, why does he want to bring Elon back in? It doesn't seem like Trump and him can ever recover their friendship. Why is he trying to court Elon Musk? I wonder why. Well, in a new Elon bombshell about the 2028 election, we can see exactly why, and the scheme taking place behind Donald Trump's back. Elon Musk ditches MAGA rival America Party to cozy up to J.D. Vance. Elon Musk is so desperate to be buddies with J.D. Vance that he's quietly abandoning his plans to launch a new political party, according to the Wall Street Journal. The billionaire Tesla and SpaceX CEO threatened to create what he called the America Party amid a bitter feud with Donald Trump earlier this summer. Now he's having second thoughts as he doesn't want to scare off powerful Republicans, including Vice President Vance, who he sees Trump as heir apparent to serve as the GOP presidential nominee in 2028, according to people with knowledge of Musk's plans. It marks a sharp U-turn in Elon's strategy since he expanded his political ambitions in early July. The world's richest man has been in touch with the vice president and has acknowledged that creating a rival political party would ruin their relationship. He's also considering financially backing Vance should he run in 2028 after pouring in nearly $300 million to get Trump elected. A Trump confidant in June revealed that the president was left emotional over the bitter online feud with his first buddy Musk. The president was actually hurt, the source told Axios. Yes, he has feelings, and he was hurt the way anyone would be when a friend turns on them. So Musk has completely severed his relationship with Trump. Trump is still hurt and angry, widely reported, and now J.D. Vance is quietly courting Elon behind the scenes as he soft launches maybe him coming back into the party. Because, of course, J.D. Vance doesn't want Elon Musk to be a toxic asset to him when he's running in 2028. J.D. Vance is only ever focused on J.D. Vance, and he is willing to sell out his boss who wants to run again in order to do so. That is what's happening right now. It is why J.D. Vance has kind of tried to stay away from the Epstein controversy. Notice how little he tweets about it or talks about it, and when he does, he doesn't really defend Donald Trump. J.D. Vance is out for power. And if it means screwing Donald Trump with an Elon Musk who is announcing he's happy to get behind him, that's what it's going to be. And that's why we should really be paying attention to Epstein right now, because that is the biggest impediment to Donald Trump completely having his base together. And I think JD's a little excited about that. But so are we, because it's blowing up in Donald Trump's face, and it's only going to get worse as we see a new update from Congressman Ro Khanna.
Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Ro Khanna of California. He's a member of the House Oversight Committee and the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, thank you very much for joining us tonight. This sounds like a breakthrough for your committee today, not only taking testimony from former Attorney General William Barr, but now a promise from the Justice Department for a delayed compliance with your subpoena beginning Friday of the Epstein files.
Lawrence, it is a breakthrough. Here is the central fact. We now know there are a lot of documents. You have a Republican chair, Comer, saying there are a lot of documents. There is no excuse now for those documents not to be released to the committee and to the American public. Now, the Justice Department is slow walking this. They are now promising to get some documents, and they are not the most critical documents. And so what we need to do when we get back to session is to have Thomas Massie and my bill pass the House of Representatives and force the full release. And if Chairman Comer wants all the files released, he should be signing that discharge petition. We're going to have all 212 Democrats sign it, and we'll see which Republicans actually are going to back up with action their request for the full demand of the release of the documents.
Will there ever be a way of knowing, even if your bill passes, that this Justice Department, the Trump Justice Department, has actually handed over the entirety of the Epstein files?
Not with certainty, though. There are enough people in the Justice Department who have probably handled these files and people who are career prosecutors that it will be a risk for false or incomplete disclosures. There is always the possibility of a whistleblower, of a career prosecutor coming in saying this was not a full disclosure. They're not releasing things that we have seen. And so the one good news here is that it's not just political appointees like Pam Bondi who have seen this. There are a lot of career prosecutors who have seen this, and that gives us some ability to have a check for full transparency.
On Friday, when you get your first look at the Epstein files, what will you be looking for?
I'll be looking for whether this is actually a good faith effort at release. Are they just releasing things that are already public? You remember Pam Bondi, when she first released the Epstein documents, basically released things that already were in the public domain, and that actually increase the anger? Or are they releasing things that we have not seen? And are they releasing things that the victims want? One other thing that we have talked about, and it actually was facilitated, Lawrence, by your reporting and your show, is on September 3rd, we are for the first time having Bradley Edwards and over a dozen victims of the Epstein saga and abuse come to the Capitol and tell their stories and to center the victims. And that is something that we really need to do.
Yeah, Bradley Edwards is the attorney for those victims and many others who appeared on this program. And as you go forward, Congressman, when you're looking at redactions in the Epstein files, as there surely will be, which redactions would be acceptable to you? What category of redaction, and what kind of redactions would not be acceptable to you?
Certainly any redaction that is protecting the victim's identity or protecting the victim's privacy would be appropriate. Now, ordinarily, they should be contacting the victim's lawyers to work on this and to see what appropriate redactions are. Bradley Edwards has not been contacted. The victims have been sidelined through this process for years. But anything that was protecting their identity, their privacy is appropriate. Where I would have concerns is if there are redactions particularly on financial transactions, if there are redactions on the interviews of famous individuals who may have been involved in these parties and may have been involved in some of the abuse. And so we have to look at who they're trying to protect with the redactions.
Now more than ever, and I don't think this is hyperbole, we need to be focused on the Epstein files. Now that doesn't mean we can't be focused on Texas or the authoritarian takeover in DC. We can talk about all of these things. But we need to be talking about Epstein because we are coming back to Congress. Congress is about to be in session. They left early to avoid Epstein. Can't do so now. Ramp up the coverage. Get people talking about it. Do not allow them to set a different agenda than this when we get back. Robert Garcia has been doing that. Ro Khanna has been doing that. Jasmine Crockett has been doing that. We're going to keep doing it as well on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.